Alright guys, welcome back to the Pokemats channel. It's Maddie here. Mega Shine, the new set to Pokemon Pocket, comes out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live on YouTube and on Twitch, so don't forget to tune into the live stream. What's interesting about this set release is that we have absolutely no information other than what we got in the announcement trailer a week ago. Yesterday, I did an update video on my channel, kind of talking about the second channel that I'm making for Pokemon Champions. Go subscribe and check out that channel. Link will be down in the description below. But yeah, like there really isn't a lot to talk about, so we're kind of just waiting. Today's video, though, I wanted to talk about Mega Charizard X. Mega Shine has two new Pokemon, primarily. There's going to be more than two, but they've announced two new Pokemon, Mega Gengar and Mega Charizard X. I think that Mega Charizard X is going to be really, really good, and I think it's one of the other, like, the thing about Charizard is that we know it's going to be good because we have a bunch of Charizard support already in the game. Gengar might be good. We don't know. We're waiting to see if we get more support for Mega Gengar. Yeah, since we have, I think, most of the context we need to build decks and strategize around Mega Charizard X, that's what today's video is going to be. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I got 3 different decks and ideas for Mega Charizard X. We'll see if we get any new cards, but even if we don't get anything new for Mega Charizard X, I think we already know it's going to be a solid Pokemon. But anyway, guys, let's dive into it. Also, don't forget to register for PMPT number 25. It is this Saturday, the first tournament legal for Mega Shine. All of the new cards are going to be legal and available. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to live stream it this weekend. I really can't wait. But anyway, let's dive right into this. So, Mega Charizard X is quite good. It's got 220 HP, it's a 3-prize Stage 2 Mega Pokemon, and it's got 1 attack. Raging Blaze for 3 fire energies does 100 damage. However, if Mega Charizard X has 110 or less HP remaining, it does 180 damage, which is a lot of damage. Now, if you combine 100 and 180, 280 is KOing literally everything in the game, so that's really nice. But what's cool about Mega Charizard X is that 180 as a number is mostly just 1-hit KOing almost everything in the metagame currently. Like, there's a few Mega Pokemon that you're not going to 1-hit KO, but if you play things like Rocky Helmet, or if you deal some additional damage with Entei, as you see in this deck, you should be able to actually just KO things for that 180 attack. Things like a Mega Altaria will get KO'd, which is really interesting. 180 is a really, really significant number. So is 220 HP. It means that basically nothing in the game will 1-hit KO Charizard, other than Mega Charizard Y, I guess. Yeah, I think that Mega Charizard X is going to be like the new most played, most viable, most relevant fire-type deck, no matter how we play it. Now, the first deck that we're going to take a look at here as an example is going to be like the Entei Charmeleon Flame Patch deck. Very similar to how we play Mega Charizard Y, because I think one of the biggest upsides to Charizard is Ignition Charmeleon. It came out in Crimson Blaze not too long ago. It's a very specific package and support package that, like, you only have available if you're playing Charizard. And I think it makes a lot of sense because we're playing Charizard, you know, so we're going to take advantage of that. And I think that Entei really pairs quite well with this strategy. Entei's not a bad card. It's just not a great card in most fire-type decks. But when you're playing Charmeleon Ignition to generate additional fire energies and you have Flame Patch to bring some of those energies back, you can pair Entei with other high attack cost Pokemon, and it actually is pretty consistent and actually very good. So I think that this is definitely going to be the most popular way that people play Charizard, because I think Ignition Charmeleon is just really good, quite frankly. Entei, I think, in this deck list will be great. It's going to draw you additional cards, but more importantly, what Entei does that a lot of the other fire-type decks don't really have is the ability to put pressure on the active Pokemon, on your opponent's active Pokemon, without having to go into your Mega Pokemon first. Like, when you're going up against other Mega decks, one of the biggest factors is, of course, you know, can you force your opponent into their Mega Pokemon before we're forced to go into our Mega Pokemon? And I think that Entei does that actually quite well. It's got a decent amount of HP, 140. Like I said, it draws 2 cards every turn, just like Suicune does. But it can just hit you for 60 damage pretty early. Like, between Charmeleon and Flame Patch, like, we should be able to get Entei set up like pretty early, and then just start hitting for 60 and just putting on a little bit of pressure, drawing extra cards, and then on the back line setting up our Mega Charizard to come in and then hopefully just finish off the game. And that's what this deck is really all about, just like Mega Charizard Y. The difference between Mega Charizard X and Y, I think, is that Mega Charizard X is definitely about 2-hit KOing Pokemon, but I think it's just a better card. 220 HP is a lot better when you're not dealing 70 damage to yourself. That's the reality of it. The damage thresholds in the metagame right now are about 140 to 150. That's kind of the sweet spot number. So if you have a 220 HP and then you hit yourself for 70, you go to 150 and then you can get KO'd pretty easily, quite honestly. So that's something we kind of want to avoid. And I think that Mega Charizard X is going to be a lot better into mostly every deck other than like Mega Charizard Y or like other maybe Mega decks. Like there's really not too many of them. It kind of depends. Like Steelix has been running around, a little bit of Gardevoir, but mostly it's Altaria and Absol. And I think with Rocky Helmet, Mega Charizard X should be able to 1-hit KO Absol and Altaria pretty easily. I think we're also hitting Weakness 4 on Mega Steelix, which is going to be relevant regardless, right? So I really like Mega Charizard X. I think it's going to be really good. I think that Entei is really good for the 60 damage. So if you're hitting for 60 with Entei and then you go into Charizard at full HP, that's 160 damage. If we're playing Rocky Helmet, that's 180, and that's going to be a really good number, meaning, you know, if Entei even just only gets one attack off, by the time we go into Charizard, we should just be KOing whatever was still in the active spot that just got hit for 60 damage, right? Which is a really good number. That's why I think Rocky Helmet's going to be really good, just to kind of work some of the math. It's also going to turn that 180 damage attack into, of course, 100 and or 200. It's going to turn 180 into 200, which is going to allow you to KO things like Mega Altaria, right? Very relevant stuff. So I think the damage threshold numbers are going to be really good for Mega Charizard. The fact that it lives hits from basically everything in the metagame and then just kind of comes back and hits you for 180 is going to be really, really strong. This deck list here is playing, of course, double Pokeball, double Research, one Copycat, one May. Now, I do think May is going to be pretty good, mostly because we are playing double Middle Evolutions. I don't actually remember if Mega Charizard Y plays one copy of May. I'm playing one Copycat, even though with double Entei, you might not really need the Copycats, but Suicune is still common in the metagame, so we're playing one Copycat, one copy of May, just for extra consistency, and then one Sabrina, one Cyrus, and I do think that's also pretty relevant. I think Sabrina Cyrus is worth playing in most decks right now, and we definitely have the space in this deck. And then I think the stuff that we have to really figure out are the tool cards. I put in one Rocky Helmet, one Protective Poncho, just because I really don't want Charizard on my bench to get hit for damage. I'd rather it come in at full HP. But honestly, it might even not be that bad. Like if Jianpao comes in and hits us for 130, when we bring in Charizard, we're hitting for 180. So Poncho might not even be that relevant, but it's also nice to kind of protect things like Charmeleon and Charmander if it's taking a long time for us to draw into our evolution Pokemon. I don't know. I put in Protective Poncho, but maybe it's not even that needed. Maybe we just go double Rocky Helmet to more consistently hit that 200/180 damage threshold, which I think is going to be really good, honestly. So I think that Entei, Charmeleon, Charizard is going to be like the new fire type deck. Like I'm taking a look at the metagame and I'm seeing all the decks that are seeing play, you know, lots of Belly Bolt. This is, of course, a deck that's going to struggle into Oricorio. Oricorio is going to be good early this season no matter what we do. So you could just play like a non-EX Charizard in here or something for Oricorio, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think Charmeleon can probably just kind of take a KO on what is it, on Oricorio, like anyway. So I think you could probably play around it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Belly Bolt is something that's going to get kind of washed by Charizard. You're going to live a hit and then 1-hit KO. So I think that's going to be really relevant. I also think Altaria is probably not going to love the Charizard matchup. Just again, quite frankly, because with Rocky Helmet, we're going to be able to hit for 200 damage total, which is going to just KO Altaria. That's going to be really, really nice. Honestly, the Suicune decks, like I know Suicune and Chiampao and stuff is really popular. Chiampao's not weak to fire, it's weak to, it's weak to steel. Like all of those are water type Pokemon. They're gonna hit Charizard for weakness, but I don't think that matters, quite frankly. I really don't. Like I think Entei plus Charizard will come in, KO, 1-hit KO like the Suicune, or 2-hit KO between Entei and Charizard's first attack. And then when they bring in anything else, we're just gonna live a hit and then hit for 180 and 1-hit KO again. So I actually think Charizard's gonna do pretty well into Suicune. I think it'll be similar to actually how Stoke Charizard back in the day was actually, from Shining Revelry, was actually pretty good into Suicune as well, which is an interesting thing to note. Like I know it's fire type, but honestly, like historically Charizard has been good into Suicune just because it can 1-hit KO. And now I think that this new Charizard can more easily 1-hit KO Suicune, even with things like Giant Cape and Starting Plains, which they like to play. So yeah, I'm really high on this Charizard. I think it's going to come in, be relevant. I think it'll also do well into things like Gardevoir. It'll do well into things like Steelix. I just really think this is going to be a strong Pokemon. It's interesting because Mega Charizard X is actually more similar to like in Incineroar than anything else with the 3 energy attack. It's basically the same attack, just a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, 180 is crazy. Like if the deck strategy is going to come down to, can I take a KO between Entei and then Charizard's 100 damage attack, or can I also 1-hit KO with my 180 damage attack? Either of those is going to be really, really good. Now, I'm not playing anything like Lily in the deck list because I think it kind of works against Charizard because, of course, like you want to be under the threshold so that you can hit for the 180 damage. So, you know, if you play Lily, you go above 110 and then you're just hitting for 100 again. Might be relevant. It might make sense to play a copy of Lily in Mega Charizard X for certain matchups. The other card that also could be relevant is Giant Cape. I don't know if that's going to be the case because the attack explicitly says 110 HP. So if we play Giant Cape, that puts us at 240, which means we still have to get hit for 130 damage. I don't think it matters. Like, I think at the end of the day, you're going to live a hit and you want to hit for 180 on the next attack. So I don't think Giant Cape makes sense. I don't think Lily makes sense, but I think Rocky Helmet does make sense for decks that, again, 180 just won't take the KO and you need 200. Specifically against Altaria. So I think Rocky Helmet makes a lot of sense here, but I don't think you really play healing. I think you just play this deck as just like you play Mega Charizard Y, except I think it's just going to be better. I think it's going to be better in a lot of ways. So I'm really excited about Mega Charizard X. Now, there are a couple of other fire-type packages in the game. I don't think any of these are going to be as good as the Entei Ignition Charmeleon package, but we have to talk about them because they are somewhat relevant, I would say. Next up is going to be like Magby. So this is going to be like Turbo Charizard, not a version of the deck that I feel as strongly about, but, sorry, let me scroll up. But that doesn't mean that it won't be good. Like, you got to understand, like, getting Mega Charizard up and running on turn 2 is going to be kind of crazy. And because it's a 3 energy attack cost, that does make it possible. Like, you need to understand it is possible if you go second and lead Magby to have Mega Charizard X up and running on turn 2. That's a big deal. We've seen High Roll be very relevant in the metagame before. Stoke Charizard used to be all about getting that Stoke attack off on turn 2. Imagine turn 2, you got a 100 damage Charizard coming at you. You can play this just like you play Blaziken. And I think that it's going to be similar. If you play it with Magby, it'll be kind of similar to Blaziken. But what I don't love about this strategy is that, you know, between Magby not dealing any damage and then Charizard's first attack only dealing 100 damage, we're very much reliant on basically like taking a KO before your opponent can even attack you. And I don't really think that's going to be the strategy for Charizard. I think we're going to need a little bit more damage on the front line in the active spot coming out early game before we go into Mega Charizard. You could play this particular deck, but play it with like a non-EX Charizard, but I think all of them have 4 energy attack costs, and I think even the 2-price Charizards have a 4 energy attack cost as well. So maybe you could go like Magby, like Stokesard into Mega Charizard, but I just don't really think that makes a lot of sense. So while you can, of course, get turn 2 Mega Charizard X up and running, I don't know if I feel as strongly about it. I went for full aggro here with double Rocky Helmet, double Copycat because we're not playing Entei. Playing Mars because of Magby, but also keep in mind, like, you could possibly play like a tanky Charizard deck. Like, if you were to play it like this, you could play Giant Capes and Lilies and maybe try to live a couple of extra attacks, like more than 2. I just don't know if that's really going to be the best way to play it. But again, Magby is a strong card, and the potential to get Charizard up and running on turn 2 is pretty, how do I say it? It's pretty enticing. Like, that to me does sound pretty strong, but I think I would rather play it a little bit slower and more consistent and play Entei. That's just my opinion, but you guys should comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Fire is a really good type. Honestly, there's a lot of support for the fire type. We have Flame Patch, we have Magby, we have Entei. But at the end of the day, like, I think fire type has been limited by the Pokemon because a lot of, like, both Mega Charizard cards are very specific. Blaziken's definitely a good card, but again, like, you kind of just play it high roll and it doesn't really make sense to play Entei with Blaziken, so I don't know exactly how I really feel about it. We'll have to wait and see. It really is something we just have to test. But yeah, Mega Charizard X will get 2-hit KO'd by everything. Like, Altaria will 2-hit KO you, Bellybolt will 2-hit KO you, and again, a deck like this isn't going to be able to really deal with Oricorio. I haven't built any of these decks to defend against Oricorio because, you know, just imagine throwing like a Pokemon in for Oricorio, and that's how you would tech for it. So it's easy to understand. You would play like a Torkoal or whatever, or a non-EX Charizard, and there you go. But I think Charizard and really all fire-type decks have always kind of hard lost to Lightning-type and Oricorio. And I think we're going to have to just sort of be okay with that, honestly. But yeah, here's the Magby version. The more I look at it, the more I think, well, maybe we could play things like Lily and Giant Cape and then live 2 hits. And that might be the best way to play Magby. But at the end of the day, when you're playing rare candies and you're playing Magby, like you're playing a high roll type deck list, like you really are. And I don't know if I love that, you know? But honestly, like if we're playing double Rocky Helmet in the Magby, you know, that's going to be a little bit of extra damage. That's plus 20 or plus 40 potentially if your opponent has to go through double Magby. And then I throw a red in this deck because again, if we're playing Magby, we're going to be pretty reliant on taking a KO with that 100 damage attack on turn 2 or turn 3, meaning that we basically want to take both KOs if possible with Charizard and back-to-back turns, which is going to be difficult if we don't have any frontline damage with like things like Entei. So Rocky Helmet red means that theoretically you can hit 140 or 160 by the time you go in and do that first attack with Charizard. I just don't know if that's going to be as good or as consistent as just playing Entei. You know what I mean? Like it really does struggle. Imagine going up against Suicune, who's probably just going to attack you on turn 2 or turn 3 anyway, and they're going to hit for weakness, right? So they're going to have 140, 160, 180 HP. It's just going to be hard to come in and just sort of get through double Suicunes. Like that's going to be difficult. Especially if you're getting attacked twice by a Suicune. Like it's going to KO you, right? So we have to do something about that. And I don't know if Magby's going to really be able to do that, quite frankly. But this is the other version. Lastly is going to be Heatmor. And honestly, I think Heatmor is a really good card. The Heatmor package so far has been sort of reserved for Mega Blaziken. Again, most of the Charizard decks, which are really the only other fire-type decks that see play in the metagame, they play Entei and they play Charmeleon because they have access to those cards. And Charmeleon, I think, is a big difference maker. Here, we're kind of doing a flex build. We have one of the Tongue Whip Heatmor, one of the Combustion Heatmor, and then, of course, just one Charmeleon, one rare candy, and then double Charmander. So what this deck does is it does give you the ability to potentially deal some more damage before you go into Charizard, whether that's to the bench or the active spot. We do have the Cyrus play with Rocky Helmet. So I think there's a lot of potential here. I really think the Heatmor cards are really good, just like they are in Blaziken. The difference here with Charizard is that that first attack is still going to be lacking a little bit. Blaziken does 120 and burns, so that's a guaranteed 140. That's a lot better than 100 damage. But again, you know, Tongue Whip Heatmor or even Combustion Heatmor is 30 plus Rocky Helmet's 50. So when we go into Charizard, you know, we can hit for, what is that? 130, 150 damage. Like maybe that takes a KO, but really like it's going to be a little bit less consistent than Entei. So I don't know if the bench damage is really relevant. The issue with Heatmor is that, you know, Protected Poncho is really relevant, you know, still in the metagame. A lot of decks play Poncho. So like the Tongue Whip Heatmor bench snipe like Cyrus combo is going to be much less consistent. It's just going to be less good, which I think is a big reason why Blaziken doesn't see as much play. And I think that Charizard decks are more prominently going to focus on just KOing the active Pokemon because they can do that with the damage reach. So that's sort of the other version. Again, there's really not that many fire type Pokemon you could play. The new Oricorio that has the damage boost that carries over a turn is interesting. That is an interesting card, something that I'm a little bit, I definitely have some thoughts about. Let's just show you as an example, I suppose. So if we add Oricorio here, this is the Inspiring Dance Oricorio. This card does only 10 damage for 1 energy, but on the following turn, your fire type Pokemon do 20 more damage, which is somewhat relevant. We used to do a funny Oricorio combo with Mega Kangaskhan because the buff would apply twice. So it was actually plus 40 when you went into Mega Kangaskhan. That was a really fun deck because it was plus 40, and then if you played red, it was plus another 40. So you could do 180 extra damage with Mega Blaziken and hit for 200. Or sorry, not Mega Blaziken, Mega Kangaskhan. That was funny, but I just don't think it really makes that much sense with Charizard. This is a very niche card. I think it was kind of put in the game like specifically for like a fire type Kangaskhan deck. We haven't seen that before. We haven't really seen that be that relevant ever since. But yeah, I think that Heatmor is going to be somewhat fine. I don't know if it's going to be better than Entei. And honestly, guys, there's really not that many options beside like Heatmor, Entei, and then of course, what is it? Like Magby Turbo. Those are like really all of the fire type like support packages that we have available to us. To me, the Entei version is what's going to be most relevant. I think that, again, like Entei pairs really nicely with Ignition, Charmeleon, and Flame Patch, and I think those are tools that we have available to us that we need to utilize. So this would be sort of the core package that I would work on or build around just right off the bat. And I think that Mega Charizard X as a card can kind of just carry the strategy. I know it's not that original. I know it's not that crazy or unique, but it's just going to be consistent and it's going to be very good. So I think we want to utilize sort of the best tools that we have available to us right now. And I think that Charizard definitely wants to play Ignition Charmeleon because it just synergizes really well with Entei. Having to go through Entei and Mega Charizard X is going to be difficult, no matter how you slice it, no matter what you're playing, no matter what the matchup is. It's going to be tough. It just is, you know. And with Entei draw, with May and Copycat and researches, like you're going to get the Charmeleons to set up Entei a turn earlier. That allows you to attack on turn 2 going first, which is always really nice. But then, of course, double Flame Patch and a second Charmeleon, like you're going to be able to utilize Charizard X very consistently. Like this is a 3 energy attack cost, which is infinitely better than a 4 energy attack cost. Like it just is. Like that extra or that 1 less energy makes a really, really big difference. Specifically, like when you compare this deck to like the Mega Charizard Y deck, you know, that's like a deck that requires 6 total energies by the time you go into Charizard. This only requires 5. Like that, I know it's only a 1 energy difference, but that's a big difference. It really is. It's going to make it way more consistent. And like I said, I think the damage numbers just line up a bit better. Maybe Poncho, not that relevant. Maybe we don't even need Copycat or May, so maybe those could be swapped for like a Mars or something like that. I think Rocky Helmet's going to be very relevant specifically for the Oricorio matchup. Because not Oricorio, Altaria. I think that Altaria is going to be definitely relevant moving forward, unless somehow it's not. I mean, we have no way of knowing. So I guess going into next season, if Altaria falls off the face of the earth, that would be crazy. That would be just a massive meta development. But Altaria really is sort of the it's the I don't even know. It's like the example. It's like the golden Pokemon in the game right now. It's just consistent and strong. But I think that Mega Charizard X has a ton of potential to really compete with Altaria as one of the best new Mega Pokemon in the game. It's got everything going for it. It's got everything going for it. It's just a strong Pokemon, a consistent Pokemon, got a great package around it. You have Entei, you have extra draw with Entei, you have extra energy with Charmeleon. Flame Patch is a really broken card, and 180 damage for 3 energies is effectively really broken. So I'm really curious. I really am. But like I said, guys, maybe we get some new cards in Mega Shine that we haven't seen yet that we can add to this Charizard package. Because we're getting a new Charizard, I guess it does somewhat make sense that we would get a new Charmander and a new Charmeleon, so maybe we get some new cards that would be relevant in here. I just don't expect us to really get anything else. I think they're giving us Mega Charizard X to play with all of the same package cards that we have available to us now with Mega Charizard Y, and I think that'll be enough for it to be really relevant. So anyway, that's the video today. That's what I wanted to talk about. Comment down below, how are you playing Mega Charizard X? Are you excited for this? The shiny Mega Charizard X looks absolutely insane, and I know that's going to be like the chase card for a lot of people. Let me pull it up here. Look at this. Look at the shiny here. We also have shiny Entei, by the way. So like you're going to be able to play like a maximum shiny deck, like a full shiny deck, which is really cool between Charizard and Entei. Do we have shiny Charmeleon? This is a tangent here. We do, but not Ignition. So maybe we get a shiny Ignition Charmeleon. That could be really cool. But we do have shiny Charmander, so we can play shiny Charmanders. I mean, maybe we do get Ignition Charmeleon shiny and we could play a full shiny Charizard deck. I know a lot of the people are going to love that. Also, this is going to be a meta viable deck. So the stonks are very high. The stonks are up. We are investing here in Mega Charizard X. I think it's going to be a very, very good Pokemon moving forward. I think the card is crazy looking too, by the way. Anyway, what do you guys think? Mega Charizard X, will it be good? How are you going to play it? Do you think that there's going to be some new cards for Mega Charizard X, or do you think there's going to just be some new cards that release tonight in Mega Shine that we have never seen before that are going to be utterly broken? I have been comparing Mega Shine to Shining Revelry, which came out about a year ago. Very comparable sets, of course, with Shiny being the theme. But if you remember about Shining Revelry, they sort of just shadow dropped Giratina in there, and it ended up being like the GOAT of all time in Pokemon Pocket. So maybe we get that. Maybe we get like a random new card that comes in the set that is effectively insanely broken. Who knows? We have no way of knowing. But don't forget to tune into the live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time to see us open up these new cards and test out the new cards and stuff. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm really excited about it. So definitely tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to go and check out the second channel, the Champion Mads channel, where we will be making Pokemon Champion content. Yeah, and also don't forget to play and register for PMPT number 25 this weekend. I'm very excited. Very excited. I know some people were a bit confused on the channel update yesterday. We're going to continue to make Pokemon Pocket videos for the near future. I'm not planning to stop doing that. So definitely stay tuned for all of the new stuff coming and all of the new meta changes. We're going to be covering everything on the channel as soon as the tournaments come out and the metagame develops. It's going to be a ton of fun. But like I said, Champions does come out on April 8th. So we will be playing that as well, maybe live streaming it here or there. Yeah, guys. There it is. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys later. And yeah. Bye.